I've prepared this brief video to highlight sections of the Theology of Work syllabus that students sometimes miss seeing in the rush of completing the class and their final projects. To download a copy of your syllabus, log on to the Populi online classroom. Click on the Info tab at the top, and you should see a link for your syllabus at the lower right-hand side of the page. The first page of the syllabus looks like this. And the example I'm showing here is for the TOW 600 syllabus. And the syllabi for TOW 601 and 701 are nearly identical, except for things like credits and the reading requirement. Please read the introductory material, but I'm going to skip right over here to page 3. Here you'll see the desired learning outcomes. Be sure to review these on your own to familiarize yourself with what the course should prepare you to do. On page 4, you'll find a description of the pre-course reading. That really amounts to half your required reading for the entire course. For a 3-credit course, that means 600 of the 1,200-page requirement. For a 4-credit course, it's 900 of the 1,800-page requirement, and so on. Don't worry if you didn't finish this before the class began. Just make certain that you finish all the reading by the end of the course. Your online participation, so important in a distance education course, will count for 20% of your grade. In the various written discussions, weave your own life and work experiences into your responses. This will not only help you, but it'll help your course mates as well. Although your required reading includes a number of books, this course will require you to write reviews on only 3 of them. Each book review will be due at the end of weeks 2, 4, and 6. And please pay careful attention to the instructions for writing each review. In the first paragraph, summarize the author's intent or purpose in writing the book. Quite often you'll find that the author states it right in the introduction or the first chapter. Limit this first paragraph to 100 words. In the second paragraph, interact with what the author has written. Did you agree? Disagree? Explain why. How might the book's message have spoken to issues you've been dealing with? What ideas do you want to learn more about? That kind of thing belongs in this middle paragraph, and limit it to 300 words. Finally, in the third paragraph, tell how something you read will change the way you do your work. Make it personal. Make it specific. Don't just state vague goals, but describe concrete action steps. Avoid generalizations. Limit this last paragraph to 100 words. You'll post your first book review in the online classroom at the end of week 2, the second at the end of week 4, and the third at the end of week 6. Be sure to keep each one, because at the end of the course you'll gather all 3 reviews together and include them as chapter 1 in your final project. For each of the first 7 weeks of the course, keep a journal entry. Notice that a journal entry consists of 3 distinct parts. In fact, I strongly recommend that you organize each journal entry under these subheadings: description, analysis, and application/integration. Write each journal entry to those in your personal learning community. In the description section, to help your PLC readers relive what you experienced in class during the week. Describe, narrate, and summarize for them what you saw, what you read, what you heard. In the analysis section, evaluate the content presented during the week. Was it persuasive? Why or why not? Examine the assumptions behind what was taught. Were you convinced? Was the material relevant and applicable? And in the application section, tell how you transfer some of what you learned into your own work and into your own context. And at the end of your course, when you write your final project, include these 7 journal entries as Chapter 2. Chapter 3 of your final project will be a 5-page, approximately 1,200-word, immersion report. To prepare for writing this report, you'll interview someone who works in a managerial role in a non-church related workplace. Name the general area of work, but do not identify the person's name or organization. As you write the report of this interview, describe what you've learned about integrating faith and work, and be sure to tell what you think the church could and should do to help this person see his or her work as ministry. Here's a list of suggested interview questions. You don't have to use all the questions, and you may supplement these with questions of your own. Chapter 4 of your final project will be your course project. Here you will develop a theology of work course that you can teach to others in your church, your small group, or your organization. If you would prefer to propose a course project of your own choosing, you may do so with approval of your professor. During the online course, you'll be provided with detailed instructions on writing this paper. For the TOW 600 and 601 courses, this course project will total 15 pages. It'll be 20 pages if you are a TOW 701 student. Chapter 5 of your final project will be a self-evaluation of 2 or 3 pages. This is not an evaluation of the class. You'll have another opportunity online for that. Rather, in this chapter, you'll tell how well the course fulfilled what you expected. Did it meet your personal goals for enrolling? And finally, at the end of this chapter, assign yourself a grade for the course. Your entire final project, consisting of all 5 chapters and the bibliography, will be due on or before June 21st, 2015. Notice that it must follow the BGU paper template. To download a copy of the paper template, go to www.bgu.edu and type paper template into the search box. There is a paper template in Turabian format and one in APA format, and the choice is up to you. This section of the syllabus lists all the elements you must include in your final project. Be sure to include the title page and the table of contents. Also, Chapter 1, in addition to the book reviews, must have a table illustrated in the paper template showing all the books you have read, the page total, and a statement verifying that you have read them all. This slide shows the rest of the required elements in your final project. Be sure you are reading from the syllabus for your version of the course, as the length of Chapter 4 is different for TOW 600 and 601 than for TOW 701. On syllabus page 6, you'll see this breakdown of how much each part of the course will count toward your final grade. And here is the grading scale that matches letter grades with number grades. And you'll find the grading criteria on page 7 of your syllabus. The required reading list shows up on pages 7 and 8 of your syllabus. If the total pages in this required reading list do not fulfill your reading requirement, choose enough books from the recommended reading list to make up the difference. If you have good reason to substitute another book or two, you may do so with the approval of your professor. This slide shows the rest of the required reading list. The recommended reading list begins on page 8, and only part of that extensive list is shown here.